5 vocal mistakes. Hey guys, I'm Sid, and let's talk about the 5 biggest vocal mistakes any singer can do. So number 1, we're going to talk about poor posture and breathing. So why is this important? So let's talk about poor posture. Imagine singing like this, or sleeping and singing, or any other uncomfortable kind of posture. So that's why when you're always singing, you have to either sit up straight or stand up straight. I'm not going to stand up now because my head's going to go out the frame. So sit up straight or stand up straight and sing. Make sure your diaphragm is not compressed, but it's always opened, it's always expand. And when you expand your body, it gives you more space to sing out and push through those hard high notes or the hard low notes. So always keep your posture good. So now let's get to breathing. Why breathing? Now just imagine you're singing a song. Let's say it's a rap. You have a singing part, but it's also kind of a rap. So now imagine you don't breathe. You're either going to turn blue, or you're going to try singing it for so long, and then you're just going to get breathless, and then you'll have to stop midway of the song because you didn't breathe properly. So breathing is very important. Take the correct breathing points, like when you're singing, make sure that you always breathe maybe after a line or after 2 lines, so you always have air in your lungs and that you're able to sing. Because if you don't breathe, you're going to suffocate, you're going to turn blue, and that's going to cause a problem, especially when it comes to rap. Like someone trying to rap God by Eminem. If you're going to try rapping that song, it's going to be hard. It's not easy. It's not just saying words. You should know how to have breath control, how much air to release, how much air to take in, and when to breathe. So breathing and posture is very important, and that's point number 1. Let's talk about point number 2. Now, point number 2 is going to be singing too quickly or too slowly. So this point in brief basically means staying on time. So what is time? Like just imagine you're singing to a song, a karaoke track, okay? You're singing perfect. Now imagine you start rapping perfect. That's going to be a problem, right? Imagine you're going faster than you're supposed to. It's just going to be like, what is this guy doing? The song is so slow, but this guy is just like rapping. Imagine you singing at the speed of rap god, but singing perfect. So it's always important to stay on time. Or it could even be vice versa. Imagine singing so slow, but doing rap god song. The track is going to be fast. Let's say it's 150, beats per minute. But you're singing at 80 beats per minute. That's too slow for what the track is on, right? So you always have to be on time. You should always be on time. You should always either tap your foot or pat your foot on the floor to keep your time, or just 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Always keep that 4x4 count with you, so you always know that you're on time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't necessarily have to be this fast. It differs with the tempo of the song. So it could even go 1, 2, 3, 4. It could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So always stay on time when you're singing a song, whether it's fast or slow, and always use this counting method 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll always know when you're on time. So time is very important for all you singers out there, and don't make this mistake. If it's hard, keep practicing, keep trying, and you'll get it eventually. Okay, so now for those of you who want to get a little more deeper into staying on time, the simple one was just 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you want to get deeper into it and want to master it, maybe you all could use a metronome every time you sing a song, like a karaoke. So find out what time signature it's on and find out the tempo it's in, and just put that down in your phone. You'll have an app. Just look up on Play Store or Apple Store. You can just put metronome and put in the beats per minute, which is the tempo, and put in the time signature. So you just need to Google up what time signature and what tempo that song is in, put it down and practice to the metronome. So when you do this, your time is going to be on the click. So when you go to the studios to record, and especially when you have to perform live as well, when you're wearing in-ears as a band, you need to wear in-ears so all of y'all stay on time, because there's going to be a metronome. So when that happens, you'll always be on time and you'll perfect your timing. So if you want to practice to metronomes, that's another choice, but you can always practice 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you want to perfect it, go ahead with the metronome. Number 3. Guys, so this is very important. I found love for me. That is just the button. Did you understand what I said? No, right? That was mumbling and slurring. Just imagine someone singing like that. I found love for me. That is just the button. That's not opening your mouth and singing, and that's not pronouncing your words properly. And people are going to hear you be like, he got a good voice, but you got to learn how to pronounce them. So yeah, so the third point is mumbling and slurring your words. So this is very important when you're singing, is because you don't want to sound like how I just did. I mean, I don't sound like that, but I would if I didn't pronounce my words right. So that's very important, no matter if you do your vocal warm-ups or you sing loud or too softly or whatever other points I just said before this. If you're going to just mumble and slur, none of that matters, because no one's even going to want to listen to you, because you're going to sound like Donald Duck. So yeah, so this is very important. Make sure to always practice before you go on stage and sing, or before you even go to the studio and record. Sing to yourself, make sure you can hear yourself, and make sure you're pronouncing all the words that you sing. Don't sound like Donald Duck or someone trying to quack, 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 quack. Okay? Always pronounce your words. Diction is very important, and how you pronounce your words is very important. Don't mumble and don't slur. Even if you do, sometimes it can be a mistake. I mean, even I do it at times, because I sometimes forget the words, or that could be one of the reasons you mumble or slur, because you don't know the words. You're like, la la blah blah, and some people will think you're actually singing. So sometimes it does pay off if you know the rest of the lyrics, and then suddenly maybe for 10 seconds or maybe a second you just slur or murmur some word. I mean, that's fine, but it's always best to learn your lyrics and be ready. And yeah, so this is very important. Don't make the mistake of sounding like Donald Duck. Point number 4. Sorry, I put 5 but 4. So point number 4. This is going to be dynamics. So now, a lot of beginner singers struggle with dynamics. They either sing too loud or too softly, or there's no emotions when they sing. So you got to practice this, okay? So I've given it in the lessons in the course, so you can check it out. It'll help you out a lot. So now let's talk about singing too loudly. I've always been using perfect in this thing, in this top 5 vocal mistakes that a beginner vocalist does. So let's stick to perfect, right? So now perfect, just imagine it's a soft song, it's a loving song, it's filled with emotion, but now you're gonna sing it out like super loud. I found love for me. Just imagine singing like that instead of singing softly. Do you think anyone's gonna feel it? Everyone's gonna be like, dude, can you calm down? It's like, this song is supposed to be slow. You're supposed to hold your lover, whoever it is, and dance slowly. Imagine someone hires you. You're a singer. Someone hires you to sing at their wedding, and you go show up and you sing like this. It's nice piano, melodious, soft guitar, some violin maybe. They're getting ready for their dance, husband and wife, and you're just like, I found love. You probably might just kill the bride and the groom on the day of the wedding. So you need to keep it really soft for these kind of songs. You should know when you should sing too loud and sing too soft. Now, loud doesn't necessarily mean trying to belt high notes. So high notes is different. You can even belt high notes in your soft voice, like, ah. Like, see, that was my falsetto, but still you're belting it. You don't have to be, ah. See, there's a difference. So now you have to know when to sing what, loud or soft. Now another thing, imagine being a zombie and you're singing loud at a wedding. You think the couple's gonna be in love after that? No. They'd probably break up because of you. Because you have no emotion and you're singing too loudly. So the couple is gonna be like, I don't have a spark for you anymore. I mean, this song doesn't hit. Like I think there's something wrong between us. You get what I mean? But actually it's not their fault. It's what you're making them feel. So keep this example of a wedding and you singing, and picture yourself. If it's going to be a fast up-tempo song, let's say the bride and groom and all the family members want to dance now, and you're doing an up-tempo song. Imagine you're a zombie with no emotion and you're singing too slow and too soft for a song that's up-tempo and supposed to pump people up and make them jump and dance. Just imagine you sing it softly. Just imagine all of them going to be like zombies on the dance floor. So this is very important. Singing too softly, singing too loudly, and even emotion. If you don't have these 3 things intact, you're screwed. So get to the course. I'm going to help you out. This will be really good for you. Go check it out. It's going to help you out a lot. So you don't make people want to break up at their weddings, and that people like your vocals and how you sound, but basically not for that. So the main reason is you don't break up couples at their wedding. Point number 5 is vocal warm-ups. So why is this important? Now let's take an example of you going to a gym and you starting to lift heavy. Let's say you're doing a deadlift or a leg press or whatever day it is, you're going to lift heavy. Or even if you're not going to lift heavy, you're just going to start working out. So now imagine your muscle pulls. Can you guess the reason why? Why has your muscle pulled? Or why are you feeling numb in your hands and your legs or in your body, wherever it is? Why do you feel numb? The reason is because you didn't warm up or stretch before you started working out, right? So the same thing happens with vocals. So now, before you start singing, you always have to stretch and wake up your voice and warm it up before you start singing. Now, warming up your voice and before you start singing, warming up your voice is not necessarily you singing another song before you actually go and perform somewhere or sing. It's about doing these exercises that I've taught you all. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. So do that and then take it a scale higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Or doing do, re, mi, fa. Do, re, mi, fa, so fa, mi, re, do. Like, stuff like that. Then your breathing exercises. It's all important. You have to warm up before you start your workout. So your workout is when you're going to perform or when you're going to record. And before that, you need to stretch and wake up your voice. Because if you don't, at the end of the performance, your voice is going to be super dry and very fry, and it's going to start feeling like there are cuts in your throat and it's painful. Another thing is, before you start singing, drink a lot of water. Because especially during the summertime, because when your mouth or your vocal cords are dry, it's harder for you to sing and to reach the levels that you can, is because your vocal cords need to be moist. And when it's dry and hard, it's going to be very hard and husky and very, I don't know how to describe it, but very, it's going to feel like it's cut, super dry, maybe even more dry than Sahara Desert. And it's going to pain. So when you're going to go sing at the high notes, your voice is going to maybe end up cracking, or you're going to lose control of your voice. So it's always important to drink a lot of water before you start singing. For me, when I'm going to perform and before I start singing, I at least drink about 2 liters of water, and I do a little warm-ups like the ones I just showed you, and then start singing when I have to perform. So vocal warm-ups doesn't mean singing a song before you actually perform. It's doing these weird little exercises before you start singing. None of these 5 points matter if you don't have confidence. So confidence is very important when you're up on the stage or when you're singing in the studio. You should always be confident, because when you're confident, all of these things are also going to have a positive impact when you sing or when you're up on stage or when you're recording in a studio. So now, when you're doing an up-tempo song, you have to be engaged. You should be engaging with the crowd. And you should always make people jump, or get people up to their feet and make them want to move and jive and dance and whatever it is. You should have that energy in you, and that only comes when you're confident. Because if you aren't confident, you're going to be very held back. You're going to be like, oh, what if I do this? Or what if I make this mistake when I'm singing? Or if I look stupid if I'm dancing on stage? Or I look stupid, but no one, I'm trying to get people up, I'm trying to get people to dance, but I look stupid trying to do it. So that's all the process, but you shouldn't overthink. You should always be confident in what you do. And when you have confidence, people's impact, when they see you, your impact on them is going to be good and it's going to be positive, where people will want to automatically get up and participate in whatever you are giving them or whatever you are showing them, or performing for them. They will automatically participate with you. So always be confident when you're singing, even if it's a fast song or a slow song. Always be confident, express your emotion, and when you have confidence, that's when your stage presence comes into play. So when you have that confidence, your stage presence is there, and that's when you sing, all the people will feel what you sing, whether it's fast or it's slow. People will feel it and they will connect with what you're doing. So confidence is the main thing besides all these 5 things. Cheers.